Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of our Top Dogtober series. This is number 23 in a row of our daily videos. Every single day we're coming at you with an 11 plus preparation video, getting you ready for English, maths, and all of the reasoning type questions you can think of. Today, it's figurative language. So we're going to be looking at a bit of writing, a bit of English. But before we dive any deeper, if you are preparing for that 11 plus test and you want some extra help and you like the way that we do things here at Top Dog, then why not head over to our website, because we are running an amazing offer where you can get a year's access to video lessons for all of the 4 subjects: English, maths, non-verbal and verbal reasoning. You can watch how to do it. You can then go away and practice it because we have downloadable homeworks for you to have a go at. And once you've done then, you can even watch a video where we explain the answer to every question. All you need to do to go and get this is to go to our website, put in the coupon code Vote Dylan for the prep resources, and get a whole year at the knockdown price of 15% off if you use my code. Now, as always, if you don't know what I'm talking about here, go back to the first ever video of Top Dogtober. There is a forfeit at the end. We are coming really close. Okay, it's becoming quite nerve-wracking now. I need you guys to make sure that you are signing up for me using my code and watching my videos, because every 1,000 gets me a point, every sign-up gets me a point. Okay, head over to the community tab and you can see how we're getting on. But let's dive in now to our video where we're taking a look at the question from yesterday, which you had to go at with Hayden, and you left your answer in the comments section. We were trying to figure out what would this word here be using the same logic from the first 2 sets of brackets. It was a tricky question. The answer was 537 for the code, and that spelled out the word lot. And you can see the logic there. If that is gobbledygook to you, because it's the first time you've watched it, go and watch yesterday's lesson. You're going to learn all about it. But I would, excuse me, I'm coughing like a something. It's a simile. So we're going to take a look now at different types of figurative language. Figurative language is where we use devices in our writing to help with description, to up-level our writing, basically. And we can see here, level 1 is similes. They're really useful. Similes, we add to our writing to make them more interesting, and they're a specific thing that we'll get to in a second. Because look, right now we have some very basic sentences. The athlete was panting. The room was cold. I mean, very, very, very standard sentences. A bit boring, and even in 11 plus, you have a writing paper to do. You will want to be showing off all of your vocab, all of your description. This isn't really doing it for me. Yeah, it's got a capital letter there. Yeah, it's got a full stop. Nah. Let's see how we can improve it by using a simile. So 2 ways we can use a simile. We can say something is like something else, or it is as something else. Simile simply means similar. Okay, we are making similarities between 2 things to help our description. Now, if we read this sentence at the top, the athlete was panting. That paints a picture in my mind. But what paints a more vivid picture? The athlete was panting like a dog. So I'm imagining heavy panting now. Maybe their tongue's out because they're so exhausted from their running. It up levels it slightly. The room was cold. Okay, was it a bit cold? Was it extremely cold? Well, look what the simile's done. As cold as a freezer. I know exactly how cold that room was now. It was bitterly cold. So we're always thinking about like and as something as. That's going to help us with our similes, okay? Now, what I want to point out is you couldn't go one step further. Yeah, you're using similes here, but look at this. Even better now. The athlete was panting like a dog on a hot summer's day. We're just adding that extra detail to show how exhausted the athlete was. I've got a much clearer picture in my mind now. At the bottom, the room was as cold as a freezer with the settings cranked to the max. So we can always go and add more detail to our writing. I would say that every time we add something to these sentences here, they are being improved in terms of a vivid picture painted in the minds of the reader. So similes, looking for like and as. But as always, we need to be able to identify them as well, because this could come up in 11 plus comprehension paper. So which of these sentences contain a simile? I've tried to trick you numerous times. Have a go. Okay, let's go through one at a time here. I'm getting into bed as soon as I get home. You might see as something as and think simile. No, we're making no comparisons here. We're just using as in a different context. This does not have a simile. We're not comparing one thing to another. Like a newborn baby. Aha. Yes, like a newborn baby. Derek couldn't stop crying. We are comparing the crying to a newborn baby, saying it's like that. That's a simile. Tick. She doesn't even like football, said Lee. Again, I tried to trick you using the word like, but we're not making a comparison here. We're not saying she's like something else or he's like something else, just that she doesn't even like football. So that's not a simile, but it does use the word like. Scared to their core, they ran away as fast as lightning. Here we go. We're comparing how quickly they ran to the lightning and the speed of that. So that one does. The answer was 2 and 4. They have similes. The others were traps. Let's move to level 2 now. Oh, look at that guy. Look at that guy. What a top man. Who is that guy? That's like a... I bet his name's Dylan. Yeah, Dylan. Oh, Dylan. Dylan is a nice person. Oh, I am. I really am. Dylan has a heart of gold. Now, this is a metaphor. One of these has a metaphor, and it's much better writing. It's much more detailed, much more vivid, and they're both true. Let's face it. I might make this my new profile picture. Dylan is a nice person. Dylan's a heart of gold. A metaphor is when we say something literally is something else. Something literally is what it isn't. And that might sound like a bit odd to you. It might sound a bit weird. Think of it this way. A simile, we say it's like this. It's kind of like that. It's as quick as something else. A metaphor, we say it literally is. Do I actually have a heart of gold? Is there inside of me, right here, a heart made of gold? No. It's a metaphor. Dylan has a heart of gold. It's a metaphor because I don't actually have one, okay? But this is where sayings come into it as well, and idioms, which we'll talk about later. Dylan has a heart of gold. Ah, it's beautiful. I love that example. Here's my next favourite example. Hayden's attitude was a poison that infested everyone's outlook. I know, guys, you've been putting up with him every other day. I really appreciate that you turning up, okay? If you've gone and watched his videos, I appreciate your dedication because it can't be a nice experience. But anyway, you're here now with me, so it's all good. Hayden's attitude, it's not literally poison. Doesn't get out a jar of poison every time he has his attitude, okay? But what we're doing here, it's a metaphor because we're saying it is a poison just to make a point. It makes us think of a poison, something terrible, something awful. So heart of gold, something amazing, was a poison, something terrible. Just another example here. His emotions were a turbulent sea. It's a lot more abstract. You're thinking, how can emotions be a sea? Well, the key here is turbulent. And you think, I've got a picture here to help you up and down and up and down, up and down. So metaphors can be quite abstract and not always obvious. Again, his emotions aren't literally a sea because emotions are just an abstract thing that we can't see. But we're saying we're a turbulent sea just to show that they go up and down. His emotions weren't stable. He was happy and sad and angry and mad, okay? So these are all examples here of metaphors. So, as always, I want you to practice actually identifying them. There are 3 sentences here. Which of these sentences contain a metaphor? Have a go. Okay, so Hayden is a real night owl. Here we go, straight away. Is Hayden actually an owl? Maybe, in the deep, dark secrets of his mind. Who knows? There's an owl inside his brain controlling everything, but probably not. So this is a metaphor because he's not actually an owl. So that is a metaphor right there. Dylan's anger was like a volcano ready to erupt at any moment. Now, if we'd said Dylan's anger was a volcano, if we took out this word, it would be a metaphor. But we didn't. It has the word like, so we're comparing it. This is actually a simile. So this is not a metaphor because we're saying it's like a volcano. And at the bottom, life is a roller coaster. Life isn't actually a roller coaster. Okay, we don't actually get born, popped on a roller coaster, whee, for the rest of our lives. No, that's nonsense. Life isn't actually a roller coaster. No matter what Ronan Keating will tell you, it's not actually a roller coaster. That is a metaphor. Anyone who doesn't get that, well, you're not my age. Life is a roller coaster. You've just got to ride it, baby. Anyway, I'm going to show my age there. Personification, level 3. What is personification? We've looked at similes when something is like something else. We compare it. We've looked at metaphors when we say something literally is something else. Personification is where we give person or people human traits to objects and things. For example, the sun was smiling down on us all day. Does the sun, is it able to smile? Does it have a mouth to smile with? No. Smiling is something humans do. So what we've done here is we've given something that is not a human-like feature to help with our description. If I think of the sun smiling down, you can think of Teletubbies. Oh, look, beautiful. Or actually what it means is it's a really nice day. The sun is shining brightly. The act of it smiling down just means that it's really nice and bright and lovely. This is giving objects personal-like features that they actually can't do. So let's see if we can go straight into identifying something here. Pause the video, 3 sentences. Where is personification in any of these sentences? Okay, so the branches reached out and caught the flap of my trouser pocket. Can branches reach? Can they catch anything? No, these are human type things of reaching and catching. So this is personification, okay? The wind whispered through the trees and sent a spooky vibe through the forest. Can wind actually whisper? No, it's a human trait to be able to whisper. So we're giving that to the wind to be able to describe it more eloquently and better. This is personification. The ocean waves hit the sandy banks during the latest storm. Is that personification? No, because waves can hit things. You don't have to be a human to be able to hit something, okay? So yes, the waves just hit it. That's just a description. This is not, why have I ticked it? This is not personification. It has to be explicitly person, things that people can do, attributed to objects that can't do that thing. Bonus definitions, because I wanted to finish there, but guys, I want to give you as much as possible. We have alliteration. Alliteration, I've got some examples here, see if you can work it out. Peter Piter? A new person, a new character, unlocked, Peter Piter. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. I can do it, I promise. And Jerry jumped joyfully. Now notice, you might think, oh yeah, alliteration is when it all starts with the same letter. No, that's not a very good definition, because look, G, J, J. What's a better definition? It starts with the same sound. J, J, J. Jerry jumped joyfully. So alliteration, it adds just a nice kind of rhythm and a beat to our writing. It makes it better. So alliteration's there, good for use as and when. The next one, idiom. An idiom is similar to a metaphor, but an idiom is specifically something where you can't actually work out the definition from just using the words. Okay? So she was over the moon. If you went to an alien and just explained what a moon was, and you said, yeah, she's over the moon, there is absolutely no way he would understand that being over the moon means very happy. So idioms are specifically when the saying themselves actually give no hint whatsoever to what the saying actually means. She was over the moon. If you think about it, saying someone is over the moon has nothing to do with being happy. That's an idiom. Beat around the bush, again, this person isn't stood around a bush beating it with a stick. That would be a bit weird, and it wouldn't be an idiom anymore to be describing a weird person beating a bush. Beating around the bush means not getting to the point. You know, oh yeah, I'll tell you. I was just thinking that perhaps, I could just if I was beating around the bush in this video, I wouldn't actually tell you what an idiom was. I was just gonna waste some time and talk about that's beating around the bush. We don't like doing that here. Hayden might do it. I don't. Onomatopoeia. Okay, again, you might have heard this one. Bang, creak, flush. It's when the actual sound the word makes represents what it means. So that's a toilet flushing, creak, like on a floorboard, and bang. So that's onomatopoeia. Really cool for effect in your writing. So here's a bit of practice. You see this kind of question in 11 plus papers. Researching and learning about quantum physics is a complicated maze of confusion, intrigue, and fascination. This sentence contains a metaphor, personification, onomatopoeia, a simile, or alliteration. Have a go, see if you can get an answer. I'll talk it through after. So this is where it's important that you know all of these definitions. And if you're stuck, rewind this video, watch it again. This actually here is a complicated maze. If there was the word like is like a complicated maze, we'd have a simile, but there isn't. We are saying that researching and learning about physics is literally a maze, which it isn't. But that, therefore, is a metaphor. So the answer to that question is A, because a metaphor means we're saying something literally is something to make a point, but it actually isn't. So this leaves me with one thing to do. It's your turn. I'm not even going to read this, guys. You are going to read that yourself and tell me what does it contain, what's the answer A to E, and you're going to leave your answer in the comments down below, and then you're going to come back tomorrow and find out what the answer is with Hayden. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Give us a like, give us a sub, and make sure to hit that notification bell so you're the first one to see videos. I've got the hiccups, I've got to go. You're the first one to see videos every day. Bye.